Yay! Looking certainly a lot more impressive than the original texture, as it has a bit more detail going on. So let's copy and paste this one over the top. And what we're going to need is this. These little labels. Now if you go into Google, go to image search and type in Star Trek labels, one of the first images that you are likely to see is this one. This is from Ex Astris Scientiae. It is essentially pictures of the real labels used on the set of Next Generation. And we're going to recreate one of these. I mean, technically, because it's so small on the texture, you could probably just cut this out and copy-paste it on there, but we're going to recreate one because we're special. So I'm going to select this 9541, remove any feather, select inside there, and do image crop to selection. Then I'm going to get myself a nice black texture or colour, do a new raster layer, make it black, and then just lower the opacity down so I can see what's behind it. Let's get rid of that temporarily, because I'm also going to want to select both of those with my colour dropper and get the colour of that. Cha. Now again, we're going in with vector images, these nice little vector shapes, and we're basically just going to recreate the overall shape of that. So let's start with that. So we'll do a box there. It's obviously wonky and inaccurate. Oh crap, undo that. Let's make sure that we've got a line width of 1. Let's not go overboard with this. So we're going to select that there, and then going to go to ellipse. Try and align that roughly with the top. It's going to have to come down a bit. In slightly. Oh crap, what did I do there? Why didn't it move? Oh, because I didn't select it in the centre. Okay. And next thing we're going to want to do is just quickly create a box. Not a triangle, just a box. It perfectly meets the size of this. Paste as a new vector selection. You can see we're just basically drawing the shape of this. Nothing overly interesting. There we go. I need to select that one again and just lower that down. And because I'm a cheating little git, I'm going to do layers. Layers, duplicate, image, mirror. Aren't I a cheating little git? We're going to hide the background layer, so it just leaves this, and we're going to do layers, merge, visible once again. And that looks fairly good. I mean, there's a bit of a crappy bit there, but meh. Yeah, let's do it properly. Let's not. Hide that layer. Grab this box. Bring it in. Show that one. It's that box anyway. Stupid bloody. There we go. It's literally like 1 pixel over where I want it to be. Actually, I think it looked better like that. What a waste of time that was. Okay, so layers, merge, visible. Then we want to make both these layers visible again and lower the opacity of this one down, and then using our wonderful selection tool once again, let's just drag a box and delete. Oh crap, make sure we're on the right layer first. Delete that and delete that. So if I bring the black right up, you won't be able to see anything because it's so pretty. Is that really that dark a red? No, I didn't think it was. Why is it so dark? There it is. Oh crap. It's not that dark, is it? Surely. Yeah, it is. Okay. It's probably because it's on a white background and it's distracting. Okay, so let's turn this to a white background then. Colours, negative. There's my knock at the door. And we're back, kind of. What was I doing? What the hell's going on? Oh, there we go. That looks a bit better. Okay, so what we're going to want to do now... oh, crap. Keep that down. Hide that. And we want the text. And we want the text to be white. I know what I've done wrong, I know what I've done wrong, but I'm not going to bother doing anything with it at the moment. I should have done this as white normally, but you'll see that with the LCARS bit. So we're going to add the text by going to the text tool. Now the official font of everything Star Trek and all these little labels and crap is actually a font called, I think it's Helvetica Ultra Compressed. Some people didn't believe me and like, font's dodgy. No, it's not. The font's correct. And I will show you that the font's correct. I have Helvetica Light Standard Ultra Compressed, which is a much more affordable and cheaper version. You don't want to know how much Helvetica Ultra Compressed is. It's like thousands of pounds. It's ridiculous. You can also get free textures out there called... there's a free font out there called LCARS, but it's not very accurate at all. It's incredibly inaccurate. So we're going to do 954. We're going to get rid of the stroke. And we're going to make sure that the fill is white. Ta-da! 954. Let's bring that above this merge layer, shall we? And then, the problem with this texture is that it's not as compressed as the Helvetica Ultra Compressed one. It's not quite there, but if you resize it, you can see it is exactly the same font. Exactly the same. So then we can do engineering access only. On this top left hand corner. Oh crap. Bring it out a little bit. Ta-da! Fits perfectly on there. I was not bullshitting. I did have somebody once say, "No, you're using the wrong font." Stuff your font up your arse, you twat. Right, so 300,000. I'm going to do something funny, because there's always a funny message in here. So I'm going to do, there once was a Gryffindor that had a picture of a cock on his phone. Full stop. Yay! Exclamation mark. And let's scale that down to, say, 26. We're going to have to compress it a bit, don't forget, because the font isn't quite accurate. So let's pull this out, drag this in, compress it, while we slowly bring it up, make it more and more compressed. That'll do. Then what we'll do is we'll bring this right up, we'll get rid of the background image, and then this white image, do a selection, no feather or anything. We'll try and match this here. Just select those two bars, selection, invert, delete. Last thing we want to do is do image resize, and at the moment it's 656. Let's resize it to something stupid like 1005 because it will make the text nice and clear. Then we do layers, merge, visible, resize to 600. That's a bit less. Let's do image resize to 1024 because I like to keep it semi-high resi. It's a bit blurred around the edges, but I could have done that a little bit better. But never mind. There we go. It is exactly the same pretty much. So if I just do copy paste, that's the picture version, and that's mine, nice and shiny and new. That looks really nice. Isn't that pretty? So what we're going to do now is we're going to go back to our little texture here. We're going to hide our top layer, and we're going to find this thing here. Making sure that we've got this background texture selected, we're going to select its height, copy and paste, and that will give us a height of 19. There's probably a selection thing down here telling me how high it is, but I don't care. It's just the easiest way to do it. So what we're going to want to do is resize this to 19, but I'm going to keep a copy of it because I may use it later. So we're going to resize this, maintaining aspect ratio, to a height of 19, which makes it 92 by 19. Now you can see that all that detail and effort we put into this texture has gone. Yay! But it still made me laugh. Move this down, pasting it as a new layer, move it above, Up that. Cha! Isn't that looking relatively funky? But this is a problem that a lot of people have, is that that is a graphic. It's not how it would look in the real world. It would have texture to it, it would have lighting on it, it would be completely different than just being a graphic. So, my nose is getting more and more full. So, sorry. Right, so what we're going to do is we're going to duplicate this layer. Well, actually first what I'm going to do is I'm going to go to this little hand tool, which is called Retouch. And I'm going to select it to lightness up. Size 90, let's do a little bit smaller, let's do sort of 55. Opacity 10, density 100, step 26 and hardness 0. And I'm just going to go over it in like an angle. So I'm going to left click and just run my mouse really quickly over to the left, which will make this side lighter as the light source is directly above. You ready? Wow, let's do that a second time. Wow, so now we can see that the actual colours from here to here, I change this to a gradient, it actually gets lighter. Isn't that jolly good fun? But that's only step one. What we want to do is do layers duplicate. Go to the layer beneath and select it to overlay. Once again, we're adding it to this texture and it's really dark and creepy because it's at the dark edge of the texture. But we lose a bit of the colour, so what we do is the second one that we duplicated, we do as Kara? Ah, it's a Kara! Yeah, Kara! We do it as Kara, and that makes it look a little bit better. We do have some pretty crappy edges there, but let's not worry too much about them because they will disappear very shortly. Then take the colour layer and let's do layers duplicate once again, and let's move this texture beneath the other two so it's the one right down the bottom. And as you can see as colour, it literally just does colour. Change the blending mode to normal and do colours, adjust brightness and contrast, pacha, and make it black, like evil black colour. That's racist. Now we go to effects blur, Nausicaan blur, as I'm calling it from now on because I don't like that word, and we'll blur it to say 6, and then we'll make the other images reappear, which has produced somewhat of a problem that I was not anticipating. I'm an idiot. Okay, let's get rid of overlay and just do it as normal because we have modified the lighting for a little bit. And the colour layer, let's delete that because I think it's not lined up properly. But yeah, I prefer that. That's better. Let's get in there. I mean, we could cheat. Should we cheat? Selection, no feather or anything. Selection, invert. Selections, modify, contract by 2. Selections, modify, feather by 2, which gives us a gradual selection. And then we go to the background layer and we do copy, go to layer 2 and do layer new layer, edit, paste into selection. Oops, we don't do that. We go to our layer, not the original background layer, do copy and then do edit, paste into selection. Colors, adjust hue, bring the hue and saturation right down, and then deselect some of these layers and do layers duplicate, and these edges should align eventually if we keep duplicating. Apparently not. My selection box was a little low, but that's fine, it will give it a nice edge. Hide that background texture so it's just these. Layers merge visible, and then select that to overlay. And that also looks crap because you can see the edges, but perhaps we can just move the overlay down a little bit, making it look a little bit darker. Why don't we blur it? Let's do a blur of 2. Yes, that brings the edges out a little bit. Makes everything look a little bit more defined. Where's our blurry background layer? That one. Let's do blur, make that a little bit more. Let's go with a 6. Layers, duplicate, bring that down a little bit. And let's delete that one. That's enough. So there we have it. Nothing too complicated. Layers, merge, all, and save. Yay! Isn't that splendid? we have our 3 textures. Oh crap, maybe we didn't save that one. Let's make sure they're all saved and close them down. I'm going to close down this lot because we don't need it right now, so we can see the steps that we've gone through. I'm actually going to keep that because I might want it later. I'm going to keep that because I might want it later. I'm not going to want that later. Let's get rid of some of these images and various other crap that we've opened up. So our new textures, corridor, blah. Now I suppose we want to see them in action really, don't we? Yes, of course we do. Let's be awkward. So this actually requires me to do some mapping. So that's in there. It's actually going to require me to replace one of the textures. Why? Because if we go back to our magical world of texturing, this carpet, you're seeing more carpet than the other one. This is a higher resolution texture. It will be fit down to the other one, which will make it incredibly dense and scale too low. So I'm actually going to have to go back into the map and every place where this texture is used, scale it up. Boo. One alternative, of course, if we can get away with it, would be to cut it into a quarter. So we've got 600 by 600. Let's do image, canvas size, and do 300 by 300. It should be that size. And if we copy that and we do 600 by 600, does it tile? If it tiles, this should work. Yeah, kind of. That's going to look ugly at a distance. Fuck it, we'll do that. Let's save that. So then we can just load it up and not have to worry about applying anything and see it in all of its goodness. Let's get rid of labels. Textures. Place in there. And now let's go for the big unveil of our new textures. Right. Tell me they don't look badass. Hmm? Nice new floor, new textures, all sharp and shiny. Nice new. I've obviously applied some shaders to these and whatnot. Does that not look better? Bit of contrast, bit of stuff going on. Let's compare it, shall we? Oops. I'm going to do that a second, because what I'm going to do is I'm going to need to take a screenshot. Well, there's one, and I will jump cut to the next one. And there is the original. Does it not look more impressive? Does it not look more colourful? And there's shit going on. Yes, of course it does. And that's only step 1. So I'm going to go back to that map and just have a look in the quartz and stuff, make sure everything lines up okay and doesn't look retarded. Okay. You wait till I get started on you, Jaws. Ugh! No. We're going to have to apply a new texture to that. We're going to need an actual seat fabric one. The floor's brilliant. I'm liking the floor. This room, okay. Not too bad. Looks like it's getting somewhere. These textures now are really on the side of awesome. See how much better they look. Bit of lighting, it's obviously going to be light at the top because there's the bloody lights. It's not going to be a flat matte colour, is it? You're relying too much on a 15-year-old game engine to produce lighting effects. It's like... In fact, the lighting in this corridor is going to become significantly more simple in Phase 2, but we won't go on about Phase 2 yet. I'm quite happy with that. I think it's really taking shape now. It's really starting to look pretty badass. Really starting to look quite nice. We're going to have to do something with the doors, of course. And that will be next. I'm going to take a little break, and then we will have a look at what we're going to do next. So have fun, and watch out for video 2 or 6 or whatever it is by now. Bye! Yippee!